Women today have more opportunity than any other generation in the history of the world. We have more freedom, more access, more choices. We can build the career we want, live wherever we want, build the life that we truly desire deep inside with no constraints. But something strange is happening because at the same time as we have all this freedom and access to everything, 1 in 5 women are taking antidepressants. And that number's actually been going up for years. So we have more freedom than ever before, but not necessarily better outcomes. And I think a lot of women do feel this deep inside. It may not be a dramatic, my life is falling apart kind of way, but we do feel like something's slightly off. That all these things don't actually make us happy, that our life is not coming together as it should, as previous generations have told us life would happen for us. You're doing what you can with what's in front of you, but things just aren't clicking. Some people will tell you it's a motivation or a clarity or a confidence issue, but I actually think it's something deeper. And I think what makes it hard for people to really put their finger on it is that it's not just chaos everywhere. Sometimes it's just a quiet confusion or lost feeling. It's subtle, but it touches everything in your life. I think the issue is something that I like to call directionless freedom. Like you finish school, but you're not sure if you even like your degree at this point, and do you want a job in that field? And then half the time you can't even get a job in the field that you get the degree in. And you're constantly searching for advice and consuming and doom scrolling on TikTok, listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos, but you still leave all of those things feeling even less clear than before, and you've lost all the time doing it. And on all of those things, you see people building successful lifestyles, having their dream cars, their dream houses, going on vacation every other week, living a life of luxury, leveling up their lives, getting married, having children. Like everyone else seems to have it together except you. And then that creates a low-level pressure, or a high-level pressure even, that makes you feel like you are not where you should be, like you are farther behind and everyone else has surpassed you. People younger than you are far more successful. And then, at the same time, culture is giving you conflicting ideas like, be yourself, be independent, but find love, or be ambitious, but don't burn out, and focus on yourself, but also build a community. And it's like, where do we draw the line? You're trying to piece all of these differing ideas together all the time to build the best life you can, but you're not doing it confidently. So you might be starting things, but you're not really following through on them and seeing them through to the end, to fruition. Or you are constantly busy, but you're not able to actually make any progress in anything you're working toward. And so with all of this, you end up feeling like you should be farther along than you are. You can be doing objectively fine and still feel it underneath, even if your life isn't falling apart all around you. That's why it's easy to ignore it, because that feeling becomes your new normal. It's your new baseline. So what's really happening is that we have been given all of this freedom, but we don't have a clear framework on how to use that to our advantage, how to build the life that we want. I mean, today you can choose your career, your identity, your beliefs, your gender, but no one has taught you how to choose well. You're overwhelmed because you were never given the framework for how to live. But culture does not help with this at all. It encourages the opposite, with self-definition at the core, where we're told to follow our feelings and keep our options open and to become whomever we want to be. And all of that sounds really nice and empowering, but it doesn't encourage a stable life, and it certainly doesn't encourage a happy or faith-filled life. Because now what happens is you're constantly reinventing yourself for whatever new trend comes along, whatever the new popular idea is, whatever the loudest idea is. And you're constantly second-guessing. You're not even feeling yourself anymore, feeling who you are and what you like and dislike. You're constantly adjusting your personality and your tastes and your interests based on everything around you, the people, the ideas permeating society. And whether you realize it or not, you are being shaped by them. Our beliefs, our desires, and our expectations are always being formed by culture. And it's not intentional on our parts, it is intentional on the algorithm's parts, but not on our parts, because it's just an exposure thing for us. We take in information, and even if we're not actively processing it, it is still going in, shaping our subconscious, our brain's working on these things. We do have a natural inclination to want to build community with people. So this isn't just about having too many choices out there in the world. It's also about being shaped in who we are. Shaped by everything around us instead of us being formed on purpose for a purpose. And this is usually where people will say, well, I just need to find out what works for me. But the problem is, if you do not have a standard in place, you will always default to what is the easiest choice at the time. And that is not where growth happens. That's not where success is born. And it absolutely does not build a meaningful life. Anything good that you've ever had in your life, did it just come easy? Was it because you made the easy choice? Or was it because you actually had to choose to do something hard for it to happen? So I'm actually really curious, did something like that ever happen to you, where you had to make a choice and something good really came of it? Or where you took the easy choice and it wasn't the best thing for your life? Let me know down below if you've ever experienced that. I would love to hear your stories. And this leads us to what I think the true root cause deep issue is that has permeated society at this point. We all suffer from it in some way or another, and it's what I call the formation gap. The formation gap is the chasm between the life you want, your dream life, and who you are now. The person that you have been formed to be by this world. Because ambition, opportunities, desires, and dreams have all grown, but formation has not within you. You haven't been taught how to develop discipline, or wisdom, or emotional maturity, or financial literacy, or spiritual depth. So you might want a beautiful, meaningful life and strong relationships and clarity and direction and purpose and a good community around you. But when it comes down to daily life, you don't know how to actually implement the steps to build that for the future. Your habits don't match the habits of the life over here. Your decisions that you're making every day don't support coming into this life, or the structure you have now does not sustain the life that you want. So you have ambition, but you do not have formation. And this gap is where all the frustration lives. Because you can clearly see the life you want, but you cannot consistently live it out. And this is why a lot of people think it's a motivation problem, but it's not. Motivation is temporary. Formation and structure are the undercarriage that really propel you forward to create this life. Formation is what actually sustains the life. And I know all of this can sound really intense, but I think knowing is actually very, very freeing. Because when you actually are able to put your finger on the issue, then you can start making the changes in your life to implement the life that you want. Because it means the issue is not that something is wrong with you, it's just that you have not been formed. And you can change that. So if this is the problem, what actually fixes it? It's not more information, and it's not more content, and it's not more doom scrolling, and it's not constantly starting over, although always feel like you have that chance. Like, you are not too far gone. You can always start over and build your life from ground zero, or, below ground zero. I have. Mine was below ground zero. What actually does build a meaningful life is formation, which is intentional living, it's stewardship, it's spiritual depth, it is growth mindset. It's learning how to actually structure your life in a way that aligns with the life that you do want. And I don't mean all the good things. Like, if your dream life is to be a multimillionaire just lounging on the beach somewhere, that does not mean just lounge your day away currently, because that is not going to get you to that life. So as Christian women, we also have this other layer of our walk with Christ, which honestly is the very base layer for everything. Because if we're not intentionally being formed by Christ, then we are definitely being formed by culture and society and social media and just all of that. AKA the world and the devil. And we don't want that whatsoever. So even if you believe God and you love God, it doesn't mean you're automatically living in His ways and submitting your life to His will. And it doesn't mean that you're being formed by Him and fulfilling your purpose that He has designed for your life. And so that's where a lot of disconnect also comes from. Scripture says, do not be conformed of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So something is always forming you, and we do need to constantly go to God in prayer and repentance and seeking His will for our lives so that we can carry out His will. The question is, what are the areas of your life that are not being as intentionally formed as others? You're not making choices as intentionally as you are in other areas of life. But you're not broken, You're just unformed, and all of that can change. It's something that you need to take charge of and steward your life well. So if you're realizing that you've never actually stepped back and looked at your life and all these different areas and tried to figure out where you're actually living intentionally, where you're stewarding your life well, and where you have maybe some deficits where you could live a little better, make some better choices, I created a little something to help with that. It's called the Christian Woman Life Audit. It is completely free, and it walks you through your habits, your direction, and your decisions in all these different areas of life and helps you see where you actually are and not where maybe you think you are. It's very simple, and it's a really good starting point if you want to get some clarity. So at the end of the day, a meaningful life does not happen by accident. You don't just drift into a meaningful life. And that's really what this channel is all about. Learning to live intentionally, wisely, and faithfully in a world that makes it difficult to do so. So if that's something you're trying to do, you're in the right place. And if you want more conversations like this one where we slow it down and really think about how to live well, you can subscribe. That's what I'll be doing here on this channel.